channel, it's Mark from Powersonic and Apprentice 1-to-1. Doing a little day in the life video. I'm going to see how this comes together. I tried one before and it all went wrong because the day didn't pan out as it should have done. So I'm giving it another go. Today I am going off to look at a job Matthew's been busy working on. We did a video earlier on YouTube right at the start of when I started this channel, and he's been there squirreling away and pressing on with the other trades. So there's been a load of builders and plumbers in. As I discussed before, there's a lot of money been spent on that property and it's been totally transformed. There's a load of outbuildings still to be tackled. They're dealing with the main house at the moment, so there's a new roof on, kitchens going in, and we'll go take a look, see what he's been doing. I'll film what I can. Obviously, if there's other trades around and about the place, they often don't like going on camera, especially the plumbers. Don't know why. Maybe it's because they're all not as good looking as electricians, most likely. And yeah, we'll see what he's been up to. And yeah, hope you enjoy this video. If you have any comments or questions about anything you're seeing, just drop them below and I'll do my best to answer. And yeah, let's see how this day progresses. It's currently, what time are we on? It's 8:15. So yeah, let's see how the day goes. Catch you in a bit. So I popped back onto this job that Matthew's been looking after for the last few weeks, and as I said in the other video earlier on, this is all kind of temporary until this wall is sorted out. So there's a big crack in there, as you can see. This is all coming off and we've just made it as safe as we can in the short term. So you can see we've got our trunking going up there, going over to the service head. All that old cabling up there is now redundant. They've got the DNO coming to sort their mess out in that top corner, and hopefully put us a nice isolator on. They've already been down and messed about with the switch fuse and cable coming into the supplier's fuse and cable coming in, but they've got to come back and do some other work apparently. We've got our trunking on there, and if we have a look at the consumer unit, you'll see there's still plenty of spare ways. We're working on the inside at the moment. I'm not filming in there because there's other trades knocking around. And yeah, so you'll notice on there the septic tank. That's not on us yet, but it's ready to go, and we've got an isolator for that up here, and Matthew's locked it off even though there's no cabling into the actual breaker in the board, but you can see he's got it there just in case anyone was to go faffing around. Not that I think they would, but he's got it all safely on there. These can all be labelled up obviously, and again we've run the supply for the septic tank over the top there, and that's just cleated for now because, like I said, this is the next stage of the conversion. This is all getting to get sorted out. They're just using this for a lot of the material stores while they're converting the house. I can't really show you up there, but that steel wire armour runs across there and then ends up outside. So yeah, that's our little temporary safe as we possibly can consumer unit. And the old one that I showed you in the last video that was in the kitchen, that's now come off, so that consumer unit's been taken away and all those circuits come back to here now, out in this little section, because they just want the one consumer unit. They don't want subboards all around their actual dwelling, so we've got them all back to here. So yeah, that's that. I'll go out and show you the septic tank cable. Yeah, the cable dropping down on the inside of here, and this building's actually going to be refurbed as well. You see it's just full of cardboard at the minute. There's a lot of work to go on with the rest of this, so that's going to actually change as well, but we had to get the cable in because the septic tank guys are here in a week or so, and we've got that on the drum there waiting. They're going to dig the trench, which is great, and it's going to run all the way over here. You see the old tanks in the ground there. That's all coming out. That needs digging out and reinstating. There's actually a little dike or drain, whatever you call it, just over the side of those bushes, and I think this is kind of a self maintenance cesspit. It's not one that comes and gets drained by the tankers. It looks after itself. Clean water comes out of it after the process of whatever goes on, and I think the plan is to put that into the drain. I mean, I don't know how that all works and the legalities of it and stuff, but I know the owners of the property will be doing everything by the book, so don't quote me on any of that. That's just kind of what I've gleaned from earwigging on other discussions that have been going on with other trades. I've just been worried about getting the electrical cable down there that they need. And again, we've gone for a 5-core 10mm. There's a couple of reasons for that. The 6mm would have been fine, but the wholesaler didn't have any and couldn't get any because of this coronavirus, so we was told, and prefer to try and use the local wholesaler. So they had this on the shelf, and we just upgraded to 10mm. It doesn't do any harm. So that's going to be down there. There's pumps and levels, and I think some sort of heating goes on as well in the process, so they needed a bigger supply than you might normally need just to run the pumps and floats in a usual pit that maybe drains into the standard sewage system, or for a tanker to come and empty. This is a little bit different, so a bit more of a bigger cable than you might be used to. You see there's loads of other building work going on, so I'm not going to film over there at all, and we'll jump back on this video in a bit, and yeah, I might get to show you around inside. I'm coming back again on Monday, so I'll see if we can get some footage inside and show you a bit more about what's been going on. As expected, you would have seen there's a load of other trades knocking around, so I couldn't really film too much inside. Matthew is busy sorting out the island power supply in the kitchen. We've actually taken the radial socket circuit over there, and we took a radial over for what was supposed to be a hob, but the hob's not now going in, so we've got an extra 6mm feed in that island for if anyone ever needs it in the future. There might be an electrician in a few years time who will thank us for it, because that's in there ready and waiting to go. So yeah, that's all good. He's got the kitchen second fixed, and we've had to use some of the socket safety shields on those ones because the plaster is not finished yet, and the customer needs the power back on because they're trying to make a temporary kitchen. So yeah, we've got that sorted out. The plumbers are in there putting underfloor heating in and a whole new cylinder and boiler, and they've just thrown on us, having asked them about 5 or 6 times if they need any other supplies other than for the boiler itself. They now want an immersion supply. So yeah, we've got the fun of trying to route cables through the building. Now it's all plastered and finished, so yeah, thanks for that one, guys. Matthew really loves you. He's cracking on with that today, so he's got to get that sorted out. It always happens, doesn't it? So yeah, thank you. He's gonna get that in, get that sorted. He's got a light switch to move because the bathroom wall's not in the position it was shown on the plans. Again, not our fault. They've just made the bathroom bigger than they were originally intending. So he's got a little bit of fiddling around to do there. Nothing too drastic. You'll see the footage of the consumer unit, and again, just to talk about that one, that wall, as I mentioned in the other video, needs major repair. It's actually falling away from the building, so I think that the builders have got to underpin it and rebuild that corner pillar. So we need to be able to lift all of that off, obviously with the power isolated, and that's why it's mounted on that board and trunked out in the way it is. The other side of that wall, there's excess loops of cable that we can pull through and just lean it all forward and re-terminate it once they've rebuilt. When that work gets done, the occupiers are moving out, so we can turn all of the power off, leave that all safe and to a side, and then put it back together. So this was just a way of getting it in a safe, and you know, it's as strong and usable as possibly can be. I'm quite happy with it like that. Matthew's made a nice job of it. Yeah, it's safe. The DNO need to come back and do their bits and pieces with the supply cables, because at the minute they come underground, but for some, I believe probably because it was a stable, they've brought the head quite high up, so it wants to be out the way, doesn't it, if it's a farm and outbuilding or whatever. So that's going to be moved. They want it in a little pantry as it gets converted, so that's coming in lower down. We can put our consumer unit on the wall, get all the cables back in zones, and yeah, it'll all be neat and tidy once we're finished. The septic tank cable, that's run over and in ready. They're wanting to get the waste up and running for that building. At the minute, it goes to that tank out there, and it's in awful condition, so yeah, it's not really usable. So we've got that in, and again, that's a 10mm 5-core steel wire armour. The reason for that is there's heaters and pumps, and I can't remember exactly what it was off the top of my head, but there's more than you might normally find. It's a clever system for managing the waste. I don't understand how all of that works. I've just followed the plans, and well, Matthew has put the cable in. It could have been a 6mm cable when we've done the calcs. That would have been more than ample. But like I say, the local wholesalers couldn't get hold of any, and they had 10mm on a couple of drums. I said, we'll just take that. You know, the cost difference on a 50-metre drum is considerable enough, but we're doing okay, and I think it's important to try and support the local wholesalers where you can. So we've took that off the shelf for them, and yeah, that's gone in, and it's ready and waiting now for the cesspit diggers to come in, get that sorted. So I just went to have a look at that really. I'd been kind of led to believe that the trench had been dug and we could get that cable in, but not the case yet. I think the plumbers and builders are still on with the inside, so there's not been the rush and pressure with it being Christmas now. It's the what is the date? It must be the 18th. So yeah, I think that the plan for that is now after Christmas. So we'll pop back in the new year, and hopefully that's all in place and we can get that connected and working. I showed you how Matthew's left that isolator locked off. The actual breaker in the board is disconnected anyway, but when we was testing the cable, he was of the mind, oh well, let's just lock it off while we're doing it, you know. So he locked it off. Good on him. We have plenty of locks and stuff. I don't see the harm in it. I guess as well, it avoids any confusion from a user's point of view with other trades knocking around. They had actually turned all of the outside lights off on a switch we'd left unlabelled. So that was our fault for not labelling it. They've gone out of the building on a night and turned them all off, and then when the clients come back, no outside lights. So yeah, we've put some little labels on there just for everyone to know what's what, and make sure you're leaving those on. And yeah, otherwise Matthew's doing really good. It's all progressing as I would have hoped. This is a long-term project. It's going to span at least another year. I would have said we'll be back there on and off, doing bits and pieces as it moves forward, and we'll keep dropping in and picking bits of that video up. Now I'm off to go and look at another job, which is about 40 miles away actually from this one. We've got another. It's the apartments we were renovating. I showed that on an earlier video as well. That's pushing along. We've got one of them finished. There's another couple that's in progress, so I just need to drop in on those and see where we're at. Again, they're full of other trades. I'm not sure if I'll be able to record inside or not, but at the very least I'll have a chat about what I've seen and where we're up to. So I'll catch up with you when I get there and see you in a bit. So as anticipated, I couldn't really record in there at all. There's too many other people knocking around. It's far too busy, and I don't want to get sued for putting a video up with someone I knew didn't want to be in it. So I'm not doing that. It's all moving on fine though, and we will get some footage of that building as it moves on. I know we've got access for ourselves shortly because we've got to sort out the main intake and all the bits and pieces in there. So we're going to have the power off for a large part of the day, and I ain't letting anyone else in while we do it. So I'll get some footage of that at that time. I'm now heading back to my unit. I've got to prepare for a podcast tonight. I'm really pretty nervous about this one and super excited because it's Gary Hayes, and yeah, he's kind of a bit of a hero of mine with the things he's done for apprentices over a long time. I think he's been a lecturer for getting on 20 years. He's also created GSH, which is just off the scale sensational, and eFix with his colleagues. So yeah, I'm a bit nervous. I've been trying to get some stuff together to talk about with him that's maybe not been spoken about before, because most people in the trade know Gary's story and know everything he's done anyway. So I'm taking a little angle on it for the Apprentice 1-to-1 and what we're doing with that. And I just don't want to flop the chat with him and make it into some boring stuff that nobody's interested in. But equally, I want to get his thoughts and opinions on the situation with the apprenticeship, because I think that's really important. Someone with his experience and knowledge. For me, he is the Mount Everest of the education and teaching and YouTube content creation. You know, that there's nobody even close. So I'm really excited. I just can't wait. But equally, I don't want to balls it up. So I'm going to go and get ready for that one. It's not going to be able to really show you much of what I'm doing because it's just making notes and having a few ideas of questions and topics we can talk about. So like I said, when we do these one-to-one podcasts, they're not researched or scripted, but I do have kind of a series of common questions that if you are listening you might be noticing, and some that are specific to the guests, because obviously you can't just sit there and start chatting. It needs to have some sort of direction and flow to the conversation. So there is a bit of research goes on and prepping that, I suppose. It's not totally blind. I guess the real point of that is I'm not going to have Gary on to talk about SPDs and then go and research all the technical content and details around that. That's not what it's about at all. And hopefully people are finding it nice to watch. Some of the views based on the size of my channel are really good, and obviously that's probably due to the guests I've had on. They're already well known in the industry and have their own followings, so there's been a bit of that. And some of the other podcasts that I've got coming out are people who have never been seen and heard of on social media before, and it'd be nice to get those people's inputs as well. So yeah, just thought I'd touch on that because that's what I'm up to today, and that's the whole idea of this video, a bit of day in the life. Again, I just chase around checking up on jobs that have been running, and yeah, I've had a nice cup of coffee, so that was very nice. I've been and checked in on Matthew, another little job, and now I'm going to go and prep for the podcast, which is just something I do in my own spare time. It's not paid or sponsored or anything, so it goes on an evening. And again, Gary's given up his time along with the other guests, all for nothing, just to have a little chat and ramble about the apprenticeship system. So yeah, I hope you've enjoyed the video. Please like and subscribe to the channel. As I've said before, my content's going to be very different from video to video. It's not a set education channel or entertainment one. Some videos will be educating, hopefully. Some videos will just be me waffling away, and some will be site work. Some will be talking about products and tools. It's a bit of a lucky dip, really. And yeah, keep checking back. I really appreciate all the comments. Try and reply to as many as I can, if not all of them. And I'll continue to do that because I appreciate people giving me the time of day to watch the videos in the first place. So thanks very much to everyone who's done that, and I'll catch you on the next one. Hi and welcome to the Apprentice 1-to-1 podcast. I'm Mark Allison, the host, and I'm just showing you a quick behind the scenes of where I record these videos. So this is my garden shed. We've used this for a multitude of purposes. It was built a couple of years ago now, getting on for a year and a half. And through the course of COVID, it's been a school classroom. It's been a workout room, not for me. It's been a sports bar. We had a bar up in here earlier on. We've had quiz nights, all sorts of stuff. We've got. It's been quite a utilised space while we've all been locked down through the summer and the kids have been home from school. And now we've got it set up for Christmas. And I've come out here to do a recording because it's Saturday night. I've got a couple of guests on tonight, 8 o'clock. And yeah, I thought I'd show you how I get set up. It's quite a primitive setup. So I've got little Isabel's My Little Ponies box there with a laptop on top, and the camera mounted there just so it gets my head at a decent angle to try and make me not look fatter than I already am. I've got the microphone out there, the iPad with the notes on about the guests, things to talk about with them, because I do try and prepare a little bit of something so it's not totally cold, if you like, so at least know the background of the guest and the job role they've had and kind of career path they might have taken, just so we have a few common points of discussion. But as I always say, none of this is scripted or rehearsed. I don't have any kind of plot or series of questions I'm set to ask people. We just enter into discussion and see where it flows, and that seems to work quite well. So yeah, just thought I'd jump on and show you that, really. Sometimes I do record them at my business unit. I've got a little recording area set up there as well. But as it's Saturday and I was at home anyway, it's raining and it's cold, I just thought I'd jump out here. Hopefully the internet holds. Obviously with it being Saturday, the kids are inside watching Netflix and playing video games, so you know, we might have a bit of buffering, who knows. But let's hope it's a good one. Thanks for watching, and I'll try to land a little bit more into this video and perhaps show you editing some of the stuff. I do it really basically, to be honest. I just use my phone and my iPad. Try and keep it as simple as possible and as natural looking as I can. I don't want it to be all super polished and edited into some sort of production piece, which is good because I wouldn't be able to do that anyway because I don't have the skills. But I think it looks more natural if it's just, you know, as it comes out on recording. So yeah, catch you on the next one.